I'm ChosenArchitect, and this is Project Architect 2. So today's episode is going to be all about mobs. That's right, because last episode we had nearly completed the Under Pressure quest line. We just need EMC, and so I'm kind of hit a deadlock in this particular quest line. Of course, I'm also waiting for the blocks of experience, which I set up at the end of last episode. So if you didn't check that out, definitely check it out. It's a pretty interesting way of generating this experience. But outside of that, I need EMC, and we set up an EMC farm as well, but it's not going to get the job done. So what I'm going to be doing is essentially utilizing this quest right here, which should be pretty easy to complete, given that we have a lot of this stuff already done and set up, to be able to take this creative bin and then create infinite EMC. And then at that point, we will have this bin to use for this quest right here, which I've already kind of determined is most likely going to be one of these applied energistic storage components. So now we are going to be on the hunt, a wild hunt, according to the quest, the wild hunt right here. And it's going to require a lot of tasks of us, some taking longer than others to set up. So I really want to focus on those tasks that are going to take a bit more time first and get those set up, and then worry about the others later. One of those being the Dimensional Slayer. This is going to take a little bit of time because it requires Drigme work, but we're also going to be doing stuff that takes no time at all. For example, like containing the Chaos Guardian, which is another little fun task. Now, believe it or not, the Flying Bees, we already have this quest line done. So if you farmed any of these mobs, you already have the upper hand. And my mob farm for that is right here and has been running and is doing quite fantastic. You can see right here. But notice we get these charms, by the way, from the mob crushers. So I'm almost wondering if we will get all types of mob charms by using the mob crusher, because then we can actually use this farm to farm out all of these sections as well. The Vexes, we can get ourselves the Ender charms, and also the Phantom charms. Those also seeming to take a bit of time to actually obtain. Now I feel like diving into a quest line that involves, well, killing a bunch of mobs, well, I feel like we're gonna get a little messy. So how about we slap on a hazmat suit? Yeah, from Thermal. It looks kind of cool. I don't know, I just thought changing up my fit would, be pretty nice. And it'll kind of disguise the fact that, well, we're about to get messy with taking down some mobs. Now to get started with this quest, I'm gonna need to do some prepping, right? We need basically a mob swab for all of these mobs that are going to need to be put into a spawner to get up and running. And then we also need some mobs that we're gonna need to put into a spawner for us to manually take down, which is gonna be these silverfish. It looks like also the skulk leeches, and then we have the endermites down here as well. So yeah, about 7 mob swabs for this. Now you cannot mob swab the wither here, but there is another way that we can actually get the wither egg, and I'm still not sure if I can mob swab the Warden, even though I think you can. But I think the capturing enchant will allow us to get the spawn egg for the wither. That's why we have those set here. So capturing enchant is definitely going to be on the list as well today. So now, speaking of capturing and getting that done, we can actually work on this as well. So I just finished up this quest, and if you remember a few updates ago, I talked about how you can enchant certain things, and I want to use the guitar as a way to enchant. So let me go ahead and place the guitar here, and the way we do this to be able to enchant something that isn't enchantable is have your enchanted book ready to go. You're gonna need a God Forged Pearl, and then you're gonna also need a infused potion or infused bottle of Dragon's Breath. So we should be able to place this on this side and this over here. I don't think it matters which side. And then we can punch it to see the information. We're going to need a 2 source jars worth of source, you can see here, and a total of 60 levels. So as soon as I right click, that is now ready to go. And just like our other one, this one should now be enchanted with Vorpal, capturing sharpness 7 and also looting, giving it a total attack damage of 32, even though it doesn't really matter because we're going to be using the mob grinder from Draconic Evolution. And this actually has a slot that will allow us to use that item. And so hopefully with that capturing, it'll give us a higher chance of sort of collecting spawn eggs from the wither. So if I place this just like so, it's already going to start kicking off, but I'm going to want to go ahead and put this here and give myself a barrel or some sort of place to store items, because what this does is it places those items inside the inventory. Notice we're getting yellow miniature hearts as well, which is another fantastic thing. And then I want to shut this off, put that in the redstone mode there. So now this is no longer farming them. Instead, this is farming them. And hopefully over time, we will get ourselves a wither spawn egg just like that. Oh, this is going to be so good. So now that I have at least one spawn egg, which happened a lot faster than I thought it was going to, I'm going to now modify this a little bit. And I'm going to stop this spawner from spawning with this method. And so what I'm going to do now is have an actual spawner spawn these mobs. And this is going to be kind of ridiculous, but I'm going to have a spawner with no AI on them spawn these down now that we have that one spawn egg. So I've now set the speed on this to max, and we now have ignore players, ignore the conditions, and redstone control in there. I also want to get the spawn count all the way up to 16. So it should spawn 16 of these at once. And then the most important one, the chorus fruit on here, and that is going to give it no AI. So these withers that do spawn shouldn't have AI. And so we can put a lever on here, and they should just kind of float down. So I'll change that to a wither. And now I just want to see what one set looks like that spawns in. And instantly they're killed there. But we actually want them to drop down onto the vector plates and make their way into the position of this. So I should now be able to turn this off right here and make sure this is on and running with our capturing. Turn this back on and kind of get an idea of what this now looks like. Interesting. Okay. Oh, and I got myself stuck in here. Okay. And yeah, it does seem to be taking them out pretty fast. Like as soon as it recognizes that they exist. And the fact that it's using our sword and our sword's indestructible, we don't have to worry about anything. That is so nice. The only issue though, is we now have that sound that is playing every time they are killed. And so, I think this is called wither, like one of the wither ambient sounds. Death? It's gotta be one of these that are very, very loud. Yes, it's 100% the wither ambient. But given a little bit of time, we should be able to easily get 250 of those wither spawn eggs for submit on the quest. Now, on to the next part. And we're gonna be dealing with a lot of spawners, but we have to go and get all of these different spawn eggs. Now, a lot of spawners I do have. I think I have Vex. So if I take a look at spawners I already have, I have a Shulker Phantom spawner already. I have an Evoker spawner. And so we're good there. Now, speaking of evokers, I am going to want to send something very special that we're generating from these evokers, because we're actually going to need a lot, and I mean a lot, of Totems of Undying. And that's because for one of the quests in the future, we're going to need these soul heart canisters, and these require Totems of Undying. So I might as well go ahead and get that set up inside of here as well. And it is best to make sure all of these spawners set to no AI. These are set to no AI. All of that should be good. And actually, I think we're at a point now where we can go ahead and convert some of these mobs into other mobs. So I'm just going to continue to build up my pillar of spawners here. And as of right now, these two are definitely subject to change because we have more than enough resources to complete those quests. But now to store those Totems of Undying, I'm going to be utilizing our max storage upgrade. And this is going to go on to this right here. That was a quest that was completed. Max storage upgrade. Actually, this goes in here, meaning that this now can store infinite amounts of items. And what I'm going to need to do is I'll have a send on the right, and that send will have a filter that will be specifically only sending those totems. And I think we can drag the item in. Yes, I do believe this is the send section down here. And if I have that pushing like that, yeah, the up arrow is push, then it should only send Totems of Undying into this drawer. Now, something that I actually want to do is get a Vex spawn egg, because we're also going to need that, and we can get that from that evoker. I just got to turn this off. So we'll make sure to turn that off, let one of those bad boys spawn, and then we should have our first evoker that we can actually grab from this guy. And beautiful, there we go. So I should be able to grab that. Perfect, there's one of them down. So now with a few spawners prepped up, it's time to go on the hunt for these individual mobs. We already got one, which is going to be the Vex, which is great. But we also need the Elder Guardian, and I don't need Phantoms, so I'm good there because I already had a Phantom spawner, surprisingly. I'm going to need Silverfish, a Skulk Leech, and also Endermites. So all of those should be pretty straightforward. Now we do have these kill tasks here, but we're actually going to go about this in a much different way, utilizing some rituals. So for right now, I guess it's time for us to go after an Elder Guardian. Now I don't know if this is a temple that I've already been in, but this staff should allow me to get right down in here. And is this one that I've been in? There is no Elder Guardian here, so I would assume that I have been in here. Aha, yes, this is one that I've definitely been to. So, time for us to use, I think, the fancy command that you guys do have access to, mentioned in the quest, /RTP. And with that, we should find a random location, and I'll be able to actually utilize my compass to find me a new one, hopefully. So I just need to search for the Ocean Monument, hit search, and it looks like there's one off in this direction right here. And judging by my map, that shouldn't be the one I just went to. So beautiful, I found another one. So this one led me right here, and this should be perfect. We should be able to go right on in. But this time, there's actually one in here, and I kind of want to get out of here quick. I guess we could get a bucket of water, but beautiful, now we have one. Oh, actually, oddly enough, I think our mech suit actually prevents us from receiving slowness in any way, so that's kind of powerful. Now, this one I've headed into the deeper dark. This is going to be the Skulk Leech, and I don't remember if I left any of these containers. Oh, I did. Oh, but if you have to break them without Silk Touch, so let me grab just a regular pick. And there's a chance of a Skulk Leech actually spawning. Or we could just start to break this. And there's also a pretty high chance of a Skulk Leech potentially spawning from us just breaking this material here. And speaking of that, there they are. So that didn't take very long at all. Beautiful. I'm grabbing them. They're not affecting me in any way, which is kind of interesting. But yeah, look at those little ugly cute things. Oh god. All right, I'm trying to get out of here. Now for the Endermites, believe it or not, my thermal world has Endermites in them. It's kind of infected with Endermites. And those Endermites are stored in these giant balls. Yes, so if you break this, it spawns an Endermite. The entire orb will spawn an Endermite. And so I should be able to use this. And now I have it spawned, but I do want to see how many we actually take out from just breaking this. So I have myself a backpack, and I'm going to put a pickup upgrade in here, and I'm also going to put a void upgrade in here. And I'm going to take this guy out, and in that backpack, we should have gotten something. I guess we didn't at this point, but let me vein mine this, and you'll see what I mean by they drop stuff. Okay, so there's a lot of stuff that got dropped. And I want to add the silverfish eggs to this void list. I'll go ahead and keep the hearts. But yes, I can go ahead and clear this all out. And then I want to see if I use this and I kill them all, how many did that actually take out? 512 in one go. Oh boy, this is going to be interesting. So I've definitely overwhelmed my frame rate. Turn my magnet on. Oh, and that is just ridiculous. The fact that you can even see it swiping on all of these. These quests are kind of fun, to be fair. Oh, and kind of fun thing to note, you can put the sword in your offhand and the hotkeys still work for it. So I'm using this, I'm hollowing this out, and then I can hit X and it still works, which is my key to find for killing these guys. So I think I'm nearing the max amount for the challenge here, right? I'm at 6,000. I only need 3,000 more. I don't know how many's here. There's like 1,200 here, and it looks like hair moving. This is ridiculous, but I love it. All of them gone just like that. That is just, I'm loving this. But I do have this this dimension, which makes this a little bit easier. These other ones are going to have to be spawned in via spawners, which is going to make things a little bit more challenging. Now, this should be the final amount required. And there it is. It hides in stones. That one is now completed. Beautiful. Now, kind of a consequence of doing this, I did manage to find an incredible farm for gems. Oh my goodness, those things drop so many gems. Now, I should be able to use just an importer on the backpack real quick, and that should pull all these items out. Yep, as soon as the importer kind of reacts, which it should have insta-reacted with those, but it is what it is. Now, to be able to get an endermite spawn egg, well, it's a matter of luck, just by tossing some ender pearls. And this is going to be another one of those mobs that we're definitely going to want to get into a spawner as soon as possible. And this could take a while. And you know, I also have a feeling that being in a claimed area for some reason it wasn't spawning, because I went through over half a stack of these just to get one endermite to spawn. And then, of course, finally, one did. Beautiful. So I'm just going to bring a few chickens to life, just like so. And now we have some chickens that we can use for a mob swabs. So I just got to get a mob swab for each one of these. Beautiful. And then we'll take our GM chicken feed and convert it into spawn eggs. And rest in peace to all of these chickens that I just brought into this life. Oh no. You can't use it, by the way, on baby chickens, so you do have to get them. You have to get them all the way grown. Oh god. There we go. Beautiful. Well, I think we're almost ready. I just got to get the Elder Guardians and the Vex spawning in here, and these spawners are already set up and designed and ready to go. We just need some levers on the back. One here, one here, one here. And these all have no AI tags on them. So everything should spawn and everything should get killed. It's a lot going on. But I think this is max upgraded. I added the Industrial Foregoing add-on mods here. And I just need to turn it on. And there it goes. That is now running. I still don't think it's fast enough. It is fast enough to kill them all, but it's not fast enough to collect their loot. So I will do the pipe here. And essentially what I'll do is add this on here. And that should now be fast enough to keep up. Beautiful. But I do have a slight issue, and that is these phantoms. They're kind of just spawning everywhere. Now, because of them spawning outside, I do want to reduce their spawn range right now. It is set to 4, but I do want to set the phantoms and also the Vex to 3, just so they don't get caught in the wall. Now, the Vex, I think, was falling down, if I seen that correctly. They are slowly falling. Actually, no, they are like within the same spawn area that these are. But what I was wanting to see, if I do a fan, can I push, for example, these mobs down with a fan for mob grinding utils? I guess this would be a good example, and it looks like it is possible. So, looks like the roof is going to become full of fans. So now, based off their current position, what I'm going to do is add a layer of fans that are going to be on this wall right here. And this should be exactly the position that should be able to push these mobs up against this wall. And then I can have a fan that pushes them down into the killing range. Now, at this point, with all of these fans, this thing is looking kind of interesting. So I have them all on. Let's go ahead and toggle this section on. And let's see how they get handled. So it does look like they are getting pushed. These are probably going to need a pusher right here. They eventually do get moved. They get moved by the other mobs. So it does seem like it is working. Some of the phantoms, though, aren't exactly respecting this. So you know what? I might just scrap this whole thing and use a mob crusher. So essentially I'm going to need to have a mob crusher that's up here, and I'm going to use a pretty big range add-on to make sure it covers the whole area plus some, because it seems like the Vexes end up spawning a little bit wonky, and they'll sometimes not be in the range of this. Now for this top one, I've entangled my entangled block, which should allow us to send the fluid into that one as well. But outside of that, this should be, actually, we shouldn't even be producing fluid technically. I'm going to have this do looting. And let's go ahead and now turn it on and see if this is working. Okay, so it does seem to be getting them now. which is exactly what I want to see, because before they were just kind of hanging there. We definitely don't want to see that. But now we should be able to turn everything on, and boy oh boy, this mob farm really starts to rock. But look at that, we still have some that are spawning outside of bounds, which is very weird. So I guess on this one, we are going to have to bring the spawn range is set to 9 on this. Oh, so that makes sense why it's doing that. We definitely have to get that down to at least 4 or 3 to get it contained within this area. Okay, so now it's down to 3. This one's to 4. This one's to 3. 4 should work. The size is the max size for the 4. But, you know, just in case, I'm going to leave it like, you know, I'm going to bring that up to 4. The Vex, also bring it up to 4. And we'll see what that does. I know Vex has the ability to move into the wall. So actually, you know what? I want to bring Vex down because of its ability to do that. So everything else should work. Okay. Whew, a lot of mob farm madness going on here. But you know what? That's what it's all about. And there we go. And so the main things that I'm after are definitely these charms that we are now getting from all of these things. So while I'm letting that run, we can actually go ahead and get the manual ones out as well. But this is going to happen over on this spawner. So I've stopped the spawner and also broke the way that the mobs are being killed for the wither skeletons, because we don't need them anymore because of our actual wither, which we should peek over and actually check and see how this is doing. Let's see. We have 12 wither spawn eggs, but I think something has definitely broken with our withers for some reason. I'm gonna have to figure this out. For some reason, they've just stopped spawning. Okay. Yeah, there's something with, I think they're getting caught on the side, so I'm gonna have to fix that. But anyways, back to the main task at hand. I can go ahead and swap this now for, let's go ahead and do skulk leeches. And then I can activate this, and these should be on their max settings. And essentially, I'm just going to let them spawn while holding down X, I think. And so I can just stand here, and I can hold this button down, and I should be able to just casually farm them. Now, on my existing spawner right here, I'm going to place a redstone block, and what this is going to do is going to prevent it from hoppering or pulling items in. And then I can just use my backpack, just like I was doing earlier, to delete all of those items. So we can have that on. We want to make sure those are deleted. And we also might want to delete the skulk leech ones here as well. And so now, every time we collect those, we shouldn't have to worry about it. But we are getting tons of gems this way. Now, I found to get them to build up in high enough quantities, you have to get the spawner's range outside of the spawn size that it is set to for the spawn range. So this is 4. So if these guys are outside of that bounding box, then it will still continue to spawn, allowing you to build up a lot of these things before you actually take them down. But bear in mind and keep an eye out on this, because it can cause a lot of lag if you just let too many spawn in your world. Now, I found that pinning these quests makes it a little bit easier to track. And I can now see how many I have killed and how many I'm actively going after. Now, something that I really want to try is, what if I speed these up with a temporal pouch? And then use this. Oh, goodness. That is definitely a way to do it. That is going so much faster. Now, by doing it this way and speeding it up with the temporal pouch, I have drained all of my time, like so much. But I can essentially speed this up, which has made this task pretty nice. I don't think I'm gonna be worried too much about it. And I've just finished one of those major tasks. I can now toggle that. Don't want to waste too much of my time here. Grab the lever. I'm gonna put the lever up here just to make only the top one spawn. Oh, actually, that's not the one I want. I already have the leeches done. No, I'm wasting time. Maybe if I go ahead and break this. There we go. I can just now focus on this one. And then I'll go ahead and grab a log. And I could double up as well. Like, that actually might not be a bad idea. But yeah, now I need to focus specifically on the endermite. I am very close to completing this. 99%. And it's done. Oh man, it is drawn to the pearl. So I can now shut this down Oh man, get rid of the rest. And well, that's it for the manual killing of these particular mobs. Now, we do still have some manual killings, for example, of the Wildens, but that is going to have to be for another episode. Now, before we go, what I do want to get set up is the Warden being farmed. So now that we have that free mob spawner area, I think that that would be a great spot for the Warden. So we do have the deeper, darker area, which we could potentially get one spawned in, which I think would be potentially the way to go about it. I've just got to get out of this area and get back into the main area. So I want to see if I can mob swab the Warden. And we definitely can. Beautiful. So now we can use this to not only farm the Warden, but farm blue hearts. Well, yeah, and when I say blue hearts, I don't mean these blue hearts. Actually, the blue hearts that are going to be required later on down the road for these heart canisters. And so away with another chicken. Oh boy. And so we should be able to swap this into a Warden. I don't know what it's going to do with the no AI, but I'm hoping that they just get all pushed. And yeah, they're all getting pushed over here and taken down. But now just looking at this, we can now see all of this stuff starting to build up. The miniature hearts are building up super fast, and the hearts of the deep are also generating incredibly quick. This is actually taking them down pretty fast, and it does seem like it keeps up. And so with that, we now have just about everything here ready to go that takes a bit of time to do and kind of just needed to be running. Well, besides this quest right here, which is the Dimensional Slayer one, which does require a Drigme farm and a lot of these drops from the Drigme. But there's also other ways that we can get those essences. So that is something that we're going to experiment potentially with next episode. So I hope you guys are ready for that. And I hope you enjoyed today's episode. So hopefully you learned something new, whether it was about any of the mob farming methods or how we obtain some of these things, because a lot of these quests are sort of here to show you cool ways of getting things that you probably never even thought about or knew how to actually obtain. Specifically like capturing or using some of these special mob farms like the one from Draconic. It's all meant to sort of lead you into a direction that you've probably never gone before. So I hope you enjoyed. If you did enjoy, comment down below what's been your favorite part, and be sure to click that subscribe button if you haven't already. Give this video a huge thumbs up, and it's now time to thank the amazing supporter of today's episode. And that is going to be a huge thanks that's going to go out to C. Thank you so much for your amazing support and choosing to support me over on the Discord by becoming a Discord premium member and supporting me in one of the best ways possible. Thanks to all of my supporters on any platform. Thank you all so very much. You guys are what make these videos possible, and I can't do it without you guys. So thank you all very much, and thank all of you guys for watching as well. I look forward to seeing you, of course, in the next episode. And with that, as always, thanks for watching. Bye!